So today we're here with
Greg Sapp,
Greg. Who are your parents?
Jack and Daleen.
Did you have any brothers and sisters?
Have two brothers and a sister.
Did sports play a role in your family?
That's a good question. My dad broadcast sports, mostly in the years we lived in Iowa. He did girls basketball on the radio. And being around radio growing up, it naturally was of some interest. Sports, though, that's interesting. We moved a bunch when I was little, and so we didn't have much opportunity to get ingratiated into town because it was a year or two, and then off we went to the next place. So I guess that's my reason why I never got involved in sports, but I love sports, obviously, or I wouldn't have done this all those years.
Where did you grow up?
Well, I was born here, but we moved away when I was 3 or 4 months old.
Oh my.
And lived in several places in Illinois, lived in Iowa, lived in Cincinnati, lived in Miami, came back here when I was an 8th grader and then left again, came back when I was a sophomore, and I've been here ever since. I think that the moving when I was little kind of took the wanderlust away. I'd already been and moved and seen and done, and so I kind of like being in one place.
So where did you attend grade school?
Wow. Where did I start? I started in, kindergarten was in Elgin and in Rosewood Heights, which is a suburb down in Metro East. And then we went to Burlington, Iowa. And then we went to Miami, and then we went to Cincinnati, and then it was time for high school.
So where did you go to high school, and what years did you graduate?
I started in high school in Cincinnati at Withrow High School. Some old baseball fans remember Ronnie Oster, who played for the Reds. He and I went to the same high school. Not necessarily at the same time. Anyway, it's a big place. There's like 2,500, 3,000 students in that high school when I went there. So coming here, everybody thinks Effingham's a big high school. Well, for me, it wasn't, but I like it. I like it just the size it was. And I graduated from Effingham in 1974.
1974. Wow.
Great sports teams. Had a lot of good athletes here. I graduated.
Where did you attend college?
Went to Lakeland.
Talk about that a little bit, yeah.
Well, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. So I said, why spend a bunch of money on something I might not necessarily ever use? So I went to Lakeland and worked at the radio station in Effingham then and commuted like a lot of people do. Went to school in the daytime, came home, worked at night, and that enabled me to get my degree. I didn't owe anybody any money when I got out of school, and it's turned out okay, I think.
So when did you officially start your broadcasting career?
August of 1974.
Boy, you remember that specific date.
Yeah, because it was almost time to start at Lakeland. I worked for Effingham Broadcasting at WCRA and what's now WCRC, and started at Lakeland maybe a week later. So both of those things happened at the same time. That's why it's easy for me to remember. And was over at Effingham Broadcasting for 19 years before Dave Ring decided to start a radio station and invited me aboard. And so now that's been over 25 years.
What intrigued you the most about broadcasting?
I don't think the same things intrigued me at the time as what intrigued me now. What intrigued me then was I could read and needed to do something that I was hopefully going to be good at. And Larry Wilson, who was my boss, said, here, read this. And I did, and he thought I read it okay. And so I got started on Saturday nights at WCRC, and then gradually got more hours, and eventually became the news director in 1978.
So tell me, Greg, who has helped you along the way?
Well, the biggest help for me was Larry Wilson. And sometimes even still is Larry Wilson, even after he's been retired this many years. He was always a good friend. He's a great mentor. He was extraordinarily patient with a guy who isn't very patient often, and hopefully smoothed out a lot of my rough edges. He encouraged me, though, to broadcast and to be involved, and made me a partner in the broadcasts, and he didn't have to do that. People who remember Larry when Larry was broadcasting, he was a legend, is a legend to those of us old enough to have appreciated him. And for him to do that for me was a great opportunity for me. Obviously, we're blessed with great sports around this area, and for him to invite me in was really special.
And your broadcasting career, name some of your colleagues.
Well, in addition to Larry, been blessed with Mark Turner, and I did football for a long time. Dustin White is my current football partner, and he's great to work with. First of all, he's intelligent, he's witty, he keeps the best stats in 3 states at least. It's amazing the volume of stuff he keeps track of in a football game. And he does good basketball broadcasts too, so Dustin's invaluable. And of course works at Eastern, so it's great that he's able to fit us into his busy schedule, also being a dad and a husband, and he has lots on his plate, works hard in the Neoga community, so Dustin's just a gem. And then Matt Robinson and I have broadcast basketball together for 15 some years now, and Matt's just a great guy. He's no big highs and lows with Matt, and that's great to be a guy to have bounce off, because I'm a little lots of peaks and valleys with me at times, and so we're a good team, he and me. And he does a great job. Baseball, basketball, softball, if we did a track meet, he'd probably do a great job at that. Matt, besides broadcasting here at the radio station, he's a good partner, good man to have on our team here at the radio station. So those guys, other guys from the past, Stan Richardson was working with Larry in football and basketball when I really got rolling. And Stan had 2 young daughters at the time, and he said, I need to worry about my family, and so he did. And that was the opportunity for me. But Stan was a great guy. Man, can I say he co-signed the loan for my first car? I paid it off, so I can say that now, right? And Stan's gone, but gosh, what a great guy. Just so many people, though, because it's like a family at a radio station, and that's been a great thing.
So is there any other role models you'd like to mention?
Well, oh my, that's a good question. There have been people in other aspects of my life, I'm a Christian, and hopefully not just in name only, and so the Lord's a wonderful guide for me. But so many people, you think about all the secretaries that I depend upon for good information, and athletic directors. And athletic directors don't get near the credit they ought to get, by the way. Let me put that in. Coaches are the guys and girls that you see, but the ADs are the people working behind the scenes.